So the other day, I watched a movie called House of 1000 Corpses. And I did a review of that movie on stream. And I had no idea that was part of a trilogy. No one told me until I did that review. And people recommended that I watch The Devil's Rejects. I watched it. It happened. I had no idea that this movie was a thing. And I checked it out. So The Devil's Rejects is a sequel to House of 1000 Corpses with the fucked up family from the first film. I don't know what's going on with like the Dr. Satan thing. I don't know if that was like, I don't know anything about that, but this movie is like all the good parts of House of 1000 Corpses with like a lot less of the bad parts. And goddamn, one thing about Rob Zombie movies that I've noticed is that every character's a freak. Every character. The pedestrians, the bystanders, the police, they're all freaks. They're all motherfucking freaks. And so this movie kind of takes that up to an 11, right? So you got the family from the first movie, House of 1000 Corpses. They're on the run from the police. And the cops, also freaks. Like the sheriff is like torturing one of the family members like in captivity or whatever. And so, like, the sheriff is a freak. The sheriff does, like, extrajudicial killing, right? And then, anyway, so Captain Spaulding, the clown from the first movie, is in this movie as well, which, in my opinion, was the best character from the first movie. But he wasn't really in the first movie too much because he was, like, a side character. But they make him, like, the main character. There's, like, a couple big portions of this movie. Like there's like, the initial on the run and then they're like trying to go to like Captain Spaulding's brother's brothel or some shit. And then like the cops meet him there and then there's like a lot of gunfire. I have to say, like the movie is if you are even remotely into like horror films or like slashy gore fuckfest films, I mean, like, again, Rob Zombie's got a very specific niche for the movies, right? You have to like them. You have to like what there is to offer here. You have to like the concept. And if you don't, you're not going to get into it. Personally, though, I like over-the-top violence. I like over-the-top gore. I like torture movies. Saw is another good example of torture movie. I think that stuff's really cool. It's a movie, right? So anyway, like one part of the movie is the family is holding like just a random touring band, like a hostage, and then like kills them all one by one, right? Like, it's pretty good. There's a lot of like really this fucked up movie. It's one of those movies you just have to watch. Like describing the movie, you might be thinking, what the hell is this goddamn bitch talking about? I agree. Go watch the movie. My favorite part of the movie, though, I have to be honest, is the ending. The ending of this movie is fantastic. So it's like the family gets out of like a big gunfight, right? Like they kill like one of the major cop characters. They survive the storm, right? And they're on their way out. And then fucking like Freebird starts playing. And then there's like a line of fucking cops. And then they drive into the cops in like slow motion. But it's like that weird ass slow motion where it's like choppy, like, they've just recorded it in 24 FPS and reduced it to like 12 FPS, right? So it looks like shit, right? But it's, it's part of the aesthetic, right? So there's like Freebird playing and it's like almost like, it's like half the song or almost like, and they're just like driving in slow motion into the cops that are killing them, shooting them or whatever. And they're like going to town. That's my favorite part of the movie because it just encapsulates the entire movie really well. I thought it was a good ending. It's a good movie. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It's like non-stop gory like action, and I'm into that. I'm into it, right? It's a very specific niche. It's a very specific kind of movie that Rob Zombie makes. And I'm into it. I know that there's a third one, but it's not on any streaming service I have, so I haven't seen it yet. One thing that I want to be very interested, like, I noticed in the first movie's credits that one of the characters, as soon as the credits start rolling, it says, like, in memory of, like, one of the characters, like, one of the actors who died right after this movie was finished filming. And another, that was in Devil's Rejects as well. Another person died right after this movie was filmed. And I'm under the impression that someone else one of the main characters dies. Like, the actual actor dies after the third movie, 3 from Hell, which I haven't seen yet. Why is it that every time Rob Zombie finishes making a movie, someone dies? That's fucking crazy. That's insane. Anyway, so Devil's Rejects, probably the best Rob Zombie movie I've seen, and I've only seen 3 of them, including this. I've seen House of 1,000 Corpses, Halloween, and this one. And this is better than, this is, I would say, orders of magnitude better than Halloween or House of 1,000 Corpses. So I'm excited to see 3 from Hell. And anyway, it's a good movie. It's one of those movies that's like, it's hard to describe, right? It's just like, it's a visual experience. You know, the story, like if I spoil the story for you, there is no spoiling the story, right? There's no real twists and turns. I mean, there are, right? It's a movie that has twists and turns. But it's like, it's you have to, like, you know, oh, look, they shoot each other. I can't describe, you know, it's a visual experience. You got to watch it. And so I would check it out if you like the genre. I saw this on HBO Max. And not to be confused with Max the dog, who is currently right over there. But anyway, it's pretty decent. I'm into it. I'm excited to watch the next one, and we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, pretty good. I don't know. I liked it. I you know, that's all I can say. That's all I got. That's the extent of my commentary. It's good. I like it. It's good. All right. God damn, though. That ending with the fucking Freebird, though, I was into that. I was so into that. I watched this movie very high, and when Freebird started playing, I was like, oh, they're just going to drive away, and that's going to be the credits, and then the cops show up. I was into that. That was my favorite part of the movie, is the ending. And normally when I say something like the favorite part of the movie is the ending, it's because it's a bad movie, but in this instance, no, the ending is just really good. So, there you go. Y'all.